Hey guys, this is Marshall Massena from the L'ArméeduRhin clan. Today I'm doing my first commentary video, and I'm doing it on the map Italian grassland. I'm in control of the French, while my opponent, Johnny Three Tears, is commanding the Prussians. The key points of this map is to get the hills and the forest, because you then have high ground or protection. So I kind of went and split up my army. Maybe we should just take a look at my army first. I had 4 chasseurs split out, 2 in the center to take the hill, 1 on each flank. The flanks were supported by young guards, while I took 4 Swiss foot to take the hill. Also brought 2 cuirassiers and 2 howitzers, 3rd young guard to protect my howitzers or be reinforcements, and some lancers and chasseurs à cheval. I saw my opponent went with lots of light infantry and lots of Jaegers and rifles, so I knew I had to come close to him to shoot instead of just stand from a long range, because he had better range than me. You can see the initial phases. I actually met him quite early because we were both rushing for the hill, and I wanted to make a line from the beginning of so that I could take him and he would come up in disorder. Yeah. I think I got my line up earlier than him, and that was very important for this battle, because I then had the advantage, and if he wanted to take the hill, he would come under serious fire from my soldiers. Another thing I noticed was that my opponent only went with 1 howitzer, which meant I could win the artillery fight and start shooting new targets. So yeah, my opponent kind of gave up on taking the hill and went for one of my flanks, so I quickly got some cavalry over there because he had so much light. So if I could get some cav among them, I would do some serious damage and maybe get his lines in disorder. So far nothing really happens, we're just setting up our lines, and he's deploying his howitzers, and yeah, my howitzers have been deployed. His howitzer and general staff were out of range, so I started shooting at his lancers, his cavalry, because if I could take them out I had supremacy. Over here you can see that I made a quite daring move. I tried to get some cav in among his lines, and I tried to do it so that I would be under protection from this house, so they didn't shoot that many of my men. It worked quite well, and I got in, and his men didn't form lines, his line infantry, so a quite successful charge. I had hoped for some more casualties, but it was alright. I made a mistake. I thought I would go for his howitzer, but my men got stuck from his lances and came under fire from his muskets, so they routed early again. You can see my opponent's howitzers have now been limbered and are ready to shoot at some of my troops. Luckily he started shooting at my light infantry, and that's usually a very bad target to take, especially if they're in light formation, because so few get killed. I saw that his men were coming in this very tight column formation, so I thought, well, I would take out his infantry, his line infantry, because, as I said before, with the light I could just take with some cav. I took some of my line from the hill, some of my Swiss foot down to do some flanking fire on him, while I got my cuirassiers over to take his flank. My young guard didn't really come into fight yet, and they were hidden, so I don't think my opponent knew. Again, I got some cav into his lines just to make disorder and make his lines all stirred up, so I could get lots of shots at him, lots of rounds at him, without him shooting back. He also had to go in squares, and that's generally a very bad position to be in against me, against a line like mine. So that was also very successful. Yeah, lots of his light routing or on the edge to rout, and he charged my cuirassiers, and that with lances they're very powerful in their charge, so he killed lots of my cuirassiers, and that was of course not the best part, but I got some cuirassiers in on the other side to take his lances out, because if his lances can't charge me, they will lose. Sadly, my opponent chose to leave the game, so it was a very short game, but still a fun game, and I think it was a very successful game for my part, and bad luck next time, Johnny.